So fake it till you make it definitely helps, especially if you're going to like a job interview, you're doing some public speaking, you're trying to teach something, or you're selling crack, whatever the hell. You got to have some confidence when you do it. But the problem is that when you have this online atmosphere that we have, where so many people are teaching, but so very few of them are actually teaching from experience. They're faking it, to make it seem as though they've become successful, and it's gotten so overloaded that we just kind of expect it off the bat. Like we expect that, oh, this person has not really become successful. We expect that this person has not actually done anything. They're teaching mindsets, like, they'll start off with, yeah, what would you call it, why I did this or how you can do this, and a business that they've had years ago that doesn't apply anymore, or you can't actually visit or anything like that. They have, fancy cars in the garage with a bunch of books, and these are all the books you have to read, and it's like a semi appeal to authority and all these different things. So uh, fake it till you make it. It does help with confidence, but at a certain point, you have to have people who either know what they're doing or something you can see and take actionable steps. Because you have, like, let's say you have, your positive mindset, and then you have your negative mindset. Like, think this way, don't think this way, or you have your actionable steps and your negative actionables. Act this way, do these steps. Like, let's say you're building IKEA furniture, or a meth lab, and you're trying to read instructions. Then you kind of want to have the step by steps to do such a thing. And if you don't want to mess up, it may help to have some people tell you, hey, whatever you do, don't do this, don't do A, B, C, D, E. Like, learn from these people who messed up and set themselves on fire with their meth lab. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the drug world, but you get my point. You want people to be there to help guide you, but you actually eventually want, people who know what they're doing to help guide you, or at least show you steps along the way so they can tell you what went well, what didn't go well. Sometimes you have people who are just examining what other people did, and that's not bad. Like, there is a channel I really like. It's called, I want to say, Company Man. I really like Company Man because Company Man, he kind of just examines, how this business did well, how it started, who was the owners, when it transitioned owners, and what might have made it go down or stay so successful. I love Company Man. If you've ever never checked that channel out, you should check that channel out. But there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is when someone's trying to reach success for themselves, and a lot of people are. When you look at what people did in the past, there's a couple of things that very often don't get mentioned. So one of them is, they a lot of times people did shady stuff that they don't really bring up. Is that new money thing, right? Like, if you become very successful, there's probably something you either did that was A, shady, or B, is not allowed anymore. And that's very important too, because let's say you had somebody who, they opened up a fruit cart on the side of the road, and that's how they started getting business. Well, you can't just do that. You can't spit on your hand and shake hands and then have a deal go through. And a lot of deals do go through with people like that who are already in the position to make those types of deals. Like, in the cigar world, like, if you're familiar with cigars, there are a lot of people who, they there's a very old family sort of thing. A lot of families that have been around forever, and they can make deals on the handshake because their honors their code. But if you're a new guy coming in, you can't make that same. You don't have, your name doesn't carry that same kind of weight. So if you want to be successful, you can't always follow in the same footsteps as other people. Again, not because it's bad or it won't work at all. Some of the philosophy behind it, like, let's say with Warren Buffett, I think, I could be wrong, but I think he may have used pinball machines. I knew another couple I knew personally who got very successful opening vending machines. And it's not that you can't do that anymore, but you can't just open a vending machine for a few $100 anymore. They're expensive. So you have a lot of different, what would you call it, uh, hurdles in place that they may have not had to deal with, or they may have just been doing something shady to begin with. They may have, start. I think even Henry Ford, it was saying, like, Henry Ford, to get his engineering or get better at engineering, he had taken parts from one of his jobs, or there are other people who had, like, they did certain business dealings that might not have been on the up and up to get where they're going. There is a lot of fake it till you make it in a certain sense with those too, because you have people who they may have just signed off on some contracts that they couldn't really sign and just kept doing it until they made bank. But you can't do that nowadays because you may lose everything you had. Back then, oh, I got bankrupt. They took my horse or something like that, and then you just kept moving on. Nowadays, you can't do that. It could be completely life ruining. You have student loans that people can't pay off, and if they can't pay it off, then it never gets like released from your debt. They had things to deal with now that you never had to deal with. Even doctors, lawyers, people who are successful in those fields, they were able to work through apprenticeships. They didn't have to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars in schooling to get the type of career that they are in, back in those days that they're in now. A lot of people they went to law school, but it wasn't anywhere near as tedious as it is now. They had a lot less competition. They weren't, dealing with influx of people who didn't even have to pay to go to school, and other people who, let's face it, if you're in a schooling atmosphere, there are a lot of people who are even just going through school. It's almost weird. They're like, the drug usage to get through school has gotten so common that it's almost expected, or it's like this mentality from it is the status quo, like the performance mentality is the status quo. Again, those are things they don't tell you. Let's say, for example, even, I'm not going to say, but certain athletic people, it may have been a point where a lot of those people who were athletic were using certain substances or whatever to enhance themselves in a ways that you're not allowed to do now. Maybe they even have better stuff out now, but you have to be hide it a little more, a little more, a little more. There was a big controversy in the fitness industry a little bit ago when there were, what is it called? What was his name? Coach Greg or something, but they were like Natty or Not. And he wasn't the only person doing it, but it was just kind of like this thing where it was how, how many people have these physiques that are not natural at all. Like they're completely using steroids or whatever type of drugs. I don't know what you're allowed to say, as far as the substances, but they were using these substances and yeah, substances. I don't know. Maybe I get nervous and my mouth gets dry, but they were using substances and then pretending as though they were completely natural. And you can get this physique if you do these 5 steps a day. I remember, I think it first kind of popped up, but there was this girl years ago. I was with this woman, and she was looking at this fitness YouTuber, would you call it? A content creator, at least. This fitness content creator. And she had a really, I don't know, would you say, nice body objectively. And, she was coaching people to, hey, this is how you can get a body like mine. Do this fitness routine. And the fitness routine was a workout. It's not that it wasn't a workout, but you would not have gotten the body doing the same workout that she's doing. She's selling you a workout, but the workout she's selling you doesn't lead to the results because she got it through augmentation, substances, and what would you call it? Augmentation substances in a workout, bodybuilding, basically doing lifting weights and stuff that wasn't actually in her videos. So you have this what you call it, this misrepresentation where, at least you have some people who do get their bodies through bodybuilding, workouts, fitness, cardio exercise and stuff like that. But they're not selling, hey, this is how you get a body like mine. They're selling, hey, this is how you lose weight, or this is how you increase your stamina, or this is how you get healthy again. This is how you get better mobility, things like that. Just because someone has a body that they did not obtain from that workout doesn't mean that that's what they're selling you. They're not always necessarily selling you their body, but a lot of these online gurus, the fake it till you make it people, they're selling you that, hey, you can get this success, which again is not real, is augmented, it's virtual reality, It's not necessarily AI, but it's how do you put it? It's a fugazi. It's fugazi, whatever. It's pixie dust. It's not real. They are not really successful yet. They may be getting successful from selling you such a thing, but you can't actually take that path unless you then go in this long pyramid scheme of selling the next person the same thing, then the next person the same thing, the next person the same thing. So that's why I wanted to create a series where it's more of a journey towards success. I'm starting from the bottom. Let's see if I can, I'm starting from down here. Can I get in the screen? I'm starting from down here. Let's see if I can get higher up here and take people along to the ride. Now, I'm familiar with working online. I'm familiar with writing. I'm familiar with doing manual labor. I've pretty much done a lot of things, man with a bunch of different hats. You'll probably notice that literally. But I've done a lot of things and worked in a lot of different fields. I'm familiar with a lot of ways people get money. The catch is I want to find a way to, again, start at the bottom. I used to be pretty up there. Hit a loop, life happens. And so I want to go see if I can get back up there and then bring people along with me. That's the catch. So if you would like to take the journey with me, please subscribe. If you would like to be supportive, hit a like, give me a comment if you have any constructive criticism. I'll do what I can, but I appreciate everything. And I hope that you join me soon. Thank you very much. Peace.